in on your remarks.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I would like to begin the statement with a recognition that this hearing is occurring in the unceded lands of the indigenous people belonging to the Coast Salish people, including the territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. I would also like to recognize the citizens who have participated in this hearing. At seemingly 300 plus registered individuals, I hope this council recognizes how important Chinatown is for all Vancouverites. I am a registered professional urban planner and an adjunct professor of urban planning at UBC and urban studies at SFU. My academic and professional research work has been integrated in Vancouver Chinatown's Chinatown Vision policies. I'm also a two-term commissioner appointed by the City of Vancouver's City Planning Commission, and I have been a member of the Development Permit Advisory Board. I am opposed to the rezoning of 105 Keefer and 544 Columbia. Before I begin my reasons for why I'm against this rezoning, I would also like to read excerpts from a letter that has been written on this, but the person is not available to speak. The letter excerpts begin as the following. I am writing to bring attention to the very troubling development proposal in Chinatown that will profoundly compromise this important historic area. This building design in its overall height, massing, and consequent density is an example of form follows finance, rather than what is in Chinatown should be form follows urban design, fit, and character. This should be the fundamental precept in the assessment of the worthiness of a form of development as per urban design criteria contained in the city's policies and guidelines. Given the context, development on this site has the potential and indeed the duty to convey and enhance the best characteristics and spirit of Chinatown. As rezoning, this development must exhibit exceptionally high standard of sensitivity to the context, evoking its form, height, massing, and character, a sense that truly belongs on this site. It should specifically relate to the to its surrounding rather than simply display the generic characteristics of a building that could land comfortably in Yaletown or any number of neighborhoods. Sincerely, Bing Tom, member of the Order of Canada, fellow of the Royal Architectural Institute of Canada, architect Vancouverite. I'll keep my comments short as I've submitted written comments about this rezoning. This rezoning, and we really are here to assess the rezoning, is to look at whether it is deserving of additional discretionary height and density. This is not a debate about development. This developer has an outright to develop. We are here to talk about whether this project deserves the density and the additional density and height it is requesting. The building contravenes, I believe, Clause 6A and 6B of the HA1A rezoning policy, as it does not respect the Chinatown rezoning at HA1, nor does it respect Section 8 of that same policy, supporting innovative, affordable, and social housing projects or mitigating impacts on the surrounding community. This proposed rezoning is hardwired for conflict. The second floor senior social housing is being used as a sound buffer for the market condos, which will occupy the upper floors from street noise. This has not been talked about, and I think produces a profound question of really what is the intention of this project. The additional height is already invasive to the neighborhood, but what is made worse from the additional height for this building is the recommendation, frankly, by staff. It's particularly troubling. In minute 46 of the May 23rd proceedings, the additional 2 feet in the height suggested by the city staff that is intended to allow for, quote, lofty spaces for businesses in the CRUs, there is a specific city reference to pubs and restaurants. Given the internal and external noise and operating hours of these types of businesses mentioned by the staff, this height seems destined to diminish the livability and the city's own description of the lived experiences for those who live inside these forms, this housing. Seniors housing should not be used as footstools or sound buffers to luxury market condominium sites. It is disrespectful for our elders and sets a terrible precedent for building and city making in the city of Vancouver. We need to fundamentally find a new way of city building, and it can begin here by ending this type of rezoning. Thank you.
Thank you. You have questions?